how are you all? Happy New Year's Eve. We're gonna get into this story in a second. It's a great story because it's one of those I told you so. Did you not know what you were getting? It's about Biden. Apparently, his team disabled the chat function in a Zoom press conference he was giving when people were asking too many hard-hitting questions. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But first, I was trying to think of my favorite meme from 2020. And I don't know if this is my top one, but it always comes to mind. And it's this one. This is Kayron Musk. And she wants to talk to the manager of California. And I think I identify with this because I also want to talk to the manager of California. I want to talk to the assistant manager. I want to talk to the supervisors. I want to talk to the sales team. I want to talk to everyone. But he did talk to the manager, I think, and wasn't happy. So he did, in fact, move out of California, and he moved Tesla out of California. I believe it's the last car manufacturer in California. He took it. They're gone. But that was one of my favorite ones. Let me know if you have any favorite moments or memes from 2020. I'm sure we're all glad this is over. I personally had... I posted on Twitter earlier today. If I go a year back from today, a year ago tonight, I was getting ready for a dance performance at a fancy party, and I was so excited. It was a dream come true. I worked so hard to book this, and I had this really pretty glittery costume. I stopped the camera so I could go get it for you, but here it is. There's the feathers and the sparkles and all of that. But I've kept it sort of hanging in the same spot since that performance because it just reminds me of how different everything is now. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. It'll go back to how it was. But it just reminds me of how different everything was and how different I projected 2020 to be, and just... I mean, it's crazy, and it's sort of symbolic because it's a very sparkly, very pretty costume, but if this year has taught me anything, it's what's really important. And, you know, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters are family and friends and health and having a roof over your head and food to eat and just people in your life that you can take care of and that help take care of you, and trying to be a good person. So I'm actually even more thankful right now than I was when I got to wear this thing, because I appreciate those things so much more. So there are good things that can sometimes come out of these bad times. So if that's one silver lining, that's what it is. But I am so excited for this year to be over and to have a fresh start and a brand new year. But that being said, I'll stop talking and let's get into this story, because it's pretty funny if you ask me. This is from the Daily Wire, and it says, Biden team disables chat on virtual press conference after reporters ask tough questions. So I'll read you a little bit of this. I have a short video, and then we'll talk about it. It says, Democrat Joe Biden's White House transition team has reportedly disabled the chat function on their Zoom virtual press conferences after invited journalists began complaining about the group's lack of transparency. So it said reporters were becoming frustrated with the Biden team and Joe Biden himself because the team appeared to have a slate of favored journalists who were always called upon to ask questions during the team's virtual press conferences. The New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, PBS, and Politico were given the opportunity to ask questions of the team at nearly every press conference, while even mainstream outlets like the Associated Press were shut out. Okay, and what I'm about to tell you, this is a quote coming from a reporter from the Daily Beast. I don't know if you know the Daily Beast. If you don't, they are a very left-leaning publication, very left-leaning. And this is from a reporter at the Daily Beast. He says, hey guys, there's a ton of folks looking to ask questions, and since this is being done once a week, can we please go longer or at least hold more frequent briefings? And then somebody from the Associated Press said, is there any chance you can take a few more questions? There are a lot of folks here with questions. And then another asked, is there a point in saying we want to ask questions, if you only call in the same small group every week. And then it goes on to say the system had a direct impact. Biden's team rarely had to answer unexpected questions. Let me read that again because I jumbled that up because I want you to get this. This is important. The system had a direct impact. Biden's team rarely had to answer an unexpected question, particularly about touchy subjects like the Hunter Biden allegations and things like that. And people are starting to notice this. They are starting to become frustrated. But what happens is every time this happens, his team sort of puts out the same exact message. And this is in relation to the Hunter Biden allegations. And it says every time people press on those, his team just says, President-elect Biden is deeply proud of his son who has fought through difficult challenges, including the vicious personal attacks of recent months, only to emerge stronger. So that's sort of all they say, and that's kind of what they're saying about this. They continue to say that Joe Biden is all about transparency, and that's very important to him, but they're only doing one of these conferences a week, and now they're even going as far as to disable the chat function, and they're only taking questions from a small group of people, and I'm not surprised, you're not surprised, but these reporters seem to be surprised. I can understand their frustration, but why are they acting surprised? And this is what they wanted. This is who they wanted in office. And if you want proof, this was during the campaign. This was before Joe Biden was president-elect. This was during the campaign when someone was asking him a question about court packing. And here's what he said.
Gotta stop. They'll know my opinion on court packing when the election is over. Now look, I know it's a great question, y'all, and I don't blame you for asking it. But you know, the moment I answer that question, the headline in every one of your papers will be about that. Other than focusing on what's happening now.
Heard that? He literally said, I don't have to answer that until after the election. What? Yes, you do. You are campaigning. You are trying the whole point of campaigning is to convince people of why you're worthy of being the president of the United States, to convince the public why you're worthy of serving them in that high honorable position or whatever you want to call it. So, yes, you do have to answer questions. But he did this several times before he was president-elect. So, what I would say to these reporters is, I feel your pain, man, but at the same time, you reap what you sow. This is who you wanted in office. You wanted Trump out of office. You wanted him in an office. This isn't any different than his campaign. He barely campaigned. He barely asked questions. Nothing has changed. Now you're all shocked, and now you're upset. Well, you get what you asked for, and this is what you asked for. So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you agree? Are you happy this year is over? Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you soon. Bye.